Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael from T3 Live. Welcome to this afternoon's event, the Quant Edge. 3 simple concepts that can give you an unfair trading advantage with Rob Smith, who will be joining us in just a couple of minutes. While you read the disclosures, can everybody hear me? Could you type in a yes if you can hear me? Just want to make sure I'm coming in loud and clear. Cool. So where's everybody from? Where's everybody dialing in from? We got a pretty big crowd today. I'm just curious where everybody's from. We got Denver, Vegas, San Antonio, Idaho, Kansas City, Houston, Vancouver, Atlanta. Cool. So we got a pretty full crowd today. So how's everybody's trading going? Anybody making money? Not today. Not today. Sucks. That's a great answer. No. Yes. So if you're having trouble trading, if you want to make more money, if you're new and you want to get started, you are in the right place. I can promise you that. So let's get the housekeeping items out of the way. Yes, we are going to send you the recording tomorrow morning. We are going to hold a Q&A after the presentation. Get your questions in, and we will get to them as soon as possible. These Quant Edge webinars can go pretty long. We get a lot of questions, so I suggest you get them in sooner rather than later. Also, turn off your trading platform, TV, podcasts, video games, whatever you have going on. It could hurt your video performance. And also take notes, because we think some bells are going to go off in your head. So you might want to actually grab a piece of paper and a pen right now, or open a Google Doc, whatever, because this could change the way you view trading. So a little bit about Rob. Rob is the director of the Quant Edge program. He's been in the market since he was 15. He was a 16-year member of the Chicago Stock Exchange, was an independent trader. He provided independent research, and he discovered the 3 truths in trading that comprise the Quant Edge strategy. So if you're looking for something new, again, you are in the right place, because this is one of the few fully formed trading systems that were developed in recent history. It's not just some other technical analysis system from the 90s just revamped a little bit. This is all fresh new stuff that's working now. So let me tell you a little bit about what makes Rob different. Well, the big thing is he's turned his back on the past. He's broken price action down into 3 simple elements that bring total clarity to your trading. So you don't need 50,000 indicators and 900 moving averages. Just 3 simple elements, 3 simple patterns you need to know about. Also, he's not afraid to tell the truth. In fact, Rob probably tells the truth a little bit too much. Some of you may be offended tonight, and for that, I apologize in advance, because Rob is going to tell you some things you may not like hearing, but we think you need to hear them. So please pay attention very carefully. So what can you expect by the end of this presentation? Well, the first thing is you're going to see how you've been led astray in the past with confusing, unproven concepts that don't do anything for you. You're going to see why conventional wisdom fails traders time and time again. And if you've been losing money but doing the same things over and over, you're going to see how you can break that pattern, break those cycles. And importantly, you're going to see how you can make an immediate improvement in your trading. So type yes if you've seen The Matrix. I'm just curious, because we're talking around the office and I'm going to watch The Matrix again. I'm just curious, have you seen it? Type in yes if you've seen it. Yes. Looks like everybody's seen The Matrix. Cool. So this webinar, right, may be your red pill moment. In The Matrix, Neo was given 2 choices, the blue pill and the red pill. Let's go back to the ordinary world, or take the red pill, see the truth, take the call to adventure. So again, tonight Rob's going to ask you to make a choice. We think you should embrace it. We think you're going to take the red pill with Rob. And at least 3 times in this presentation, a bell will go off in your head, and you'll think, well, that's pretty obvious, even though you never really paid attention to it before. So you should write these points down. Rob, are you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, perfect. So just a few notes on the kind of differences Rob is making in people's lives. Fernando said, been trading, you can see these are straight off of Twitter, been trading since '07, tried everything under the sun and lost. The only strategy that gives you the truth is that of Rob Smith. Alex said, the game is different when you know what's going on and how to anticipate things. Only one man has taught me that, and it has completely changed my trading and possibly my life. Randy said, thanks to your teaching, caught the Boeing RevStrat 60 up today and crushed it. Thank you for what you do. Odd said, the name is Odd, not often that I can get $1 with 14 cents risk. Perfect. Can't get any better than that. So I think I've said far too much already, so I'm going to pass control over to Rob.
All right.
So everybody put on your seatbelts because things are about to get a little crazy.
Okay, everybody hear and see? Mike, can you hear and see? We got the right thing up?
It looks beautiful.
All right, wonderful. So welcome, everybody, especially anybody who's never heard any of this stuff that I'm going to show you. Because like he said, once you understand this stuff, it completely changes how you see everything. And everything becomes very clear because we've been told a bunch of lies, and that's a problem. So I made a video last year, right at the beginning of last year, called The Greatest Story Ever Sold. And so let me see. There we go. So one of the things about trading is that when I talk to New York, and I talk about it all the time, and I'm sure that you know this, is that almost 90% of people that attempt to trade for a living won't make it, right? And so there's got to be a problem. What's the common problem? If 90% of the people aren't making it, and there's all this information on how to make money, how come it doesn't work? Well, I'll tell you, there's million studies and indicators and all that kind of stuff that has nothing to do with the future outcome. Absolutely nothing to do. So when you look and it's been thrown at you a million times, you watch the TV or whatever, and they talk about moving averages and they talk about support and resistance, all that stuff has nothing to do with the future outcome is what I'm going to show you. And if it all worked, it wouldn't everybody be billionaires, but 90% wouldn't go broke and blow out, right? So there's got to be a commonality problem there, right? So if we go to, all right, let's just go to right here. Let's talk about some things that people use and they believe that they have something to do with the outcome of price, all right? So if we can go, you might have heard Fibonacci sequences, right? Well, there's a problem with that. If Fibonacci mathematics was applicable to price action, that every single move could be documented by mathematics, because every single move, it's not sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Mathematics is an exact science. So if you ever took, I'm going to assume everybody took at least 6th grade math. 2 plus 2, is that 4.001? No, that would be an F. You'd get an F on that test. It's 4, that's it. So every single move would have to be shown to you, right, through the mathematics. So what people will use is software, right? And they'll grab a spot and then they'll fan it out with their little Fibonacci's and have levels. It's not a level, it's mathematics. If you were going to do Fibonacci in price action, you'd use one of these, a calculator. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's never happened. You can't show me any move. It would have to be to the exact tick, the exact number, every single move, and you can't do it, right? So it has nothing to do with price action. Now, if we go to moving averages, all right, the problem here with the moving averages is it's a lagging indicator. All it does is follow the price, and you can see if something's not doing anything. Here's a moving average. Oh, I'll buy it when it goes above. Oh, I'll sell it when it goes below. You're going to get murdered in here, right? All it does is follow the price. That's all it possibly can do. Now, because you live in a physical world and you have a screen, and sometimes it appears that that it has something to do with it, and you've been told that, right? You believe that, but it's not true. It can't be. It's not possible. So we have here in the United States, I know we got an international group here, but we got the NCAA coming up here. And last year, this team upset the #1 seed in their division, and it was the first time in 16 ever beaten a 1. Now, the important thing about this is you need to understand something, that a lagging indicator like a moving average, that's an oxymoron. It's a lagging indicator. How can that possibly have anything to do with it? So another thing that people will say, and that's why I bring these guys up, is that it's a momentum indicator, right? Well, I need to tell you something. There is no momentum in price action. It's an analogy. So with this team, you would have said the other team has the momentum coming into the playoffs, and you might have heard that in sports. This team has momentum. The thing is, they don't actually have that. If you did, you wouldn't have to play the game, right? It's an analogy. So when you use moving averages, you're using an oxymoron to try and prove an analogy. So here, let me prove this to you. Right? And usually, when you speak live, people say, "Rob, speak at a fifth grade level." I'm going to give you people more credit than that, right? It's not your fault. You've been told all these things. It's just wrong, and maybe you've never sat down and thought about it because you listen to people that you consider an authority. Right? They're wrong. Right? Here's what momentum is. All right? The momentum here is mass times velocity. Right? Do you know what price doesn't have? Mass. Therefore, it's not possible for it to have any momentum, right? So it's one of the most important things I can teach you. How you can throw this stuff out is just garbage, right? It has nothing to do with it. Here's another thing that you'll hear people say, and another problem when you're trying to put all this stuff together: subjectivity. That's the last thing you want, right? So when people are trying to read charts, be like, "Oh, he's a good chart reader." It's like, no, he's not. He's just based on screen time and trying to figure things out, right? But as I'm going to show you, most people have the wrong analysis, or it's just subjectivity, where they just think because they see things. But as far as Powerball tickets, you might have heard people say this: it's a good risk-reward ratio. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Right? They're just pulling that out of their, you know what, right? They're just making that up. There's no mathematics behind it. Where someone will say, "Oh, I'm risking 2 to make 8." Something, whatever, however they say it. It's a good risk-reward ratio that they just made up, right? Because if you had a pie chart of the probability of making the 8 or losing the 2, and it was 95% chance you're going to lose the 2, would you still do that? Because I'm risking 2 to make 8. That is a true statement, but it's misleading that it's 50-50, because if it was 50-50, you'd do it all day. So if, based on that, one of the best risk-reward ratios you can do, go out and buy yourself a Powerball ticket. I'm risking $2 to make 300 million. That's my risk-reward ratio, but I'm not going to win, right? So give that kind of stuff up when you hear it. Another fallacy that people will believe and blame their poor trading on and their lack of understanding. Well, it's the oligos, they're just picking me off. Oligos just keep picking me off, otherwise I'd be fine. I got news for you. People have been getting killed in the market long before there were computers, all right? That's nothing new. Price action, as I'm going to show you, can't possibly change. The only thing that changes is the speed and method of execution, right? But how price action works, it's impossible to change it. And when I show you what I'm going to show you today, robots are actually automated trading. 70% or more is automated trading. It's not evil robots trying to pick you off. They're trying to fill orders. We know that, all right? And there's the very concepts, we use them. They work for us. They're dumb robots. They're told what to do. We know what they're doing because they show their hand, and I'll show you how we know that. So we want to get down to the true nature of price action. How does things really work, right? Things that we can definitely can't be disputed at all, right? So sometimes also people say indicators are self-fulfilling prophecies because everybody's looking at it. Like you might have heard this: "Oh, it's going to hold the 200-day because everybody's looking at it." No. Or it's going to bounce off a moving average, or bounce. You might have heard that. That's also a physics term. It's not possible, right? Price can't bounce. All right. So, and if everybody was looking at the 200-day or whatever moving average they're looking at and said, "Oh, it's going to hold because everybody's looking at it," you know what would actually happen? Everybody in the world would line up to buy it on the 200-day moving average. It would come within 1 cent and never trade again. Somebody's got to break price, right? So it makes no sense. This is just not true. Price is governed by the aggression of the buyers and sellers, period, right? What I mean by that, as I'll show you in a few minutes, are buyers taking the offer, or are sellers hitting the bid, right? That has to occur in every transaction, right? Past direction is irrelevant to future direction. You might hear people say, "Oh, if it closes up here, that's good." Where it closes is irrelevant, right? And I'll show you that too. And so once again, you can see Bollinger Bands and stuff like that here, just riding up here. And you see, we just got a few examples, although this right here would be the 1-2-1-2 reversal, which I'm about to show you. And we can get through these. I mean, I've already torn through what we need to tear through in this stuff. Let's get to the reality of it, all right? There are only three possible scenarios that you need to understand. One of the biggest problems that people have in interpreting data, you're not reading a chart, you're interpreting data, what is going on, is that they will only look as far as a daily chart and then maybe go down to a shorter term to try and time it. Totally blind when you do that. You have no idea what you're looking at. So from one bar to the next, and I'm going to slow this down because I really want you to get this part in. From one bar to the next, there's only three things that can possibly happen, okay? And I'll get to the charts so you can see it clear in a second. An inside bar, it doesn't take out the previous high or low, right? That's a consolidation. It has to be. It couldn't take out either side. It's an equilibrium, right? The buyers and sellers are reaching an equilibrium, right? Because it couldn't take out the highs or the lows. The second scenario, you take out one side of the range of the previous bar, right? That's a scenario two. You either take it up or down, but you take it one way. One of the most important things and the biggest miss in this industry is the importance of the third scenario. The bar takes out both sides of the range. It takes out the highs and the lows. And so it's reversing the initial two breakout, and you can't go three without going two first. It's impossible, right? First of all, it's impossible for price not to do these three things. That's it. That's all it can possibly do. That's all that can possibly happen. Knowing that scenario three exists is the most important, one of the most important things you can understand, because that's the way to gauge magnitude. How far can we expect something to go? We can, if it takes out one side of a range and comes back in, we know that the possibility is extending it even more because that phenomenon exists. It's called a broadening formation, and I'll show that in a second, right? Where the ranges are expanding. In most books of technical analysis, they will tell you that it's extremely rare. And I'm telling you, that's the biggest miss in any industry's history, right? And why they don't, most people have no idea what they're doing. And you might have had this happen to you. You make a little bit, you make a little bit trading, you make a little bit, and then, you know, if the price usually only goes like $1, so it's no big deal, I'll hold on and see if it'll come back, and then you get whaled on and you give it all back. That's because of this, and we know that. Okay, got that. So if you understand these things, right, price action is never a mystery again. We know exactly what's happening. Right? We don't have to sit there and think and be like, let's get all our buddies together and like and bring up some setups and we'll look at them and see if they are the thing or not. We don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to do that. Okay, so you want to learn a new way to trade, right? Because I'm telling you right now, eventually, no trading will be done without addressing this. That's how big what I'm showing you is, and why we have these webinars, to get it out to help you. Okay, so pay close attention. There's a lot here. Okay,
Rob, I think it's time to go to the charts.
Got it. So escape. Oops, there we go. Okay, so let's get to the charts. That's the fun part, right? So if we look at the S&P Spider here, right, and we go to a monthly chart, right? I'll shrink this down for you nice and slow. Okay, first I want to get the examples here. So once again, okay, here's the three scenarios, the only things that can possibly happen from one bar to the next. You stay inside. You can't take either side out. Consolidation. One bar to the next. Two. You take out one side of the previous bar. And most importantly, the three. You take out one side and you come all the way through. And like I said before, most important thing about this is you can't go three without going two first. So once we know the two fails, we got potential three, which is the bigger move, as you can see. Now, you may have heard people talk about reversals. What does a reversal look like? And they'll talk about volume and a bunch of crap that has nothing to do with the reversal. All right. There's a couple other variations of this third one. I won't get into that today. But in general, there's only three types of way the price can reverse, right? Period. And it does it like this. It's a combination of scenarios. 2 in one direction, 1, 2 back in the other direction. 2 in one direction, followed by a 2 in the other direction. 3, 2, goes 3. That's it. That's it. You want to know something's reversing? It's going to do one of these. All right, and there's a couple other variations of this, but don't worry about that today. This is really all you need to know right here, what a reversal looks like. So you might have heard somebody say, I'll buy it on a pullback, right? Well, what's a pullback? 2 cents, 5 cents, $10? Well, when it looks like it stopped going down, it's going to do one of these. I got news for you. It's going to do one of these. If something's going to pull back and continue back in the direction that you hope, it's going to do one of these, I promise you. It can't not. Now, we're going to add something when we talk about the robots. How do we know what they're doing? I'll tell you exactly how we know what they're doing. We know what everybody's doing. It's called the time frame continuity principle. Okay, and what that means is, and we use this all the way down to a 1 minute, and we also use yearly and quarterly charts, which I'll show you. In general, our main focus is the 60-minute, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. Now here you're going to see the difference, right? Now, more importantly is when we can have a separate opening price. And that can't occur until the second hour on a Tuesday. Doesn't mean we don't trade, but then we have 4 separate openings where we can identify participation groups by price and time. All right, so you're going to notice this. Is this green on the 60? It is. Is this green on the day? It is. Is this green on the weekly? It is. Is it green on the monthly? Yes. What does that tell us? That tells us by price and time, the buyers are more aggressive because they're taking the offer on all time frames. Everybody's taking the offer. Think something's going to go up when that happens? Think so, all right? They're taking the offer. It's called full time frame continuity, right? We look for this, and we look for those reversals that kick it into that, so we can get in there first. Because when really good things happen is during periods of full time frame continuity. So when we combine all that stuff together, we get the good, right? Because we know what's happening. Because when we watch this, and we'll watch every 60 and 30, we want to make sure them buyers are still in there, right? Because this is what's telling us what the algorithms are doing. If they're buying it, it's going to look like this, right? I promise you that. If there's buyers in there, it's going to look like this, right? So if we go to a little history, and we'll bring it right up to today, was there any way that we could have known what's gone on in, say, the last year or so? Think so. Let's take a look at the SPY monthly. Do you see this? Do you see this right here? This is a 2 in one direction, followed by a 2 in the other direction on the monthly, right? Hello, October. Did we know about that? We did, because if you look at the broader averages, what happened in October? If you go to QQQ, what happened? 2 goes 3. How about the Dow Jones Diamonds? 2 goes 3. And you'll notice as it comes back through here, right? Once that continuity changes into sell, and we have full time frame continuity to the downside, we know what we're going to do. We're taking these guys out. We're going 3, right? And when you have time frame continuity in your favor, good things tend to happen. If everybody's a seller, sometimes they blow it out even harder. If you go to the small cap, IWM, did we know about this in October? Sure as heck did. 2, 1, 2 reversal, pounded, right? All 4 of them. We knew that for sure. There was no doubt in our mind that we knew that was going on. Come December, what does a consolidation continuation look like? Down 2, 1 consolidation, measured move. Did we know about that in December? You bet we did, because it was in everything. SPY, Qs, Qs might have missed, but yeah, Qs missed, but diamonds, but it was in most of those charts, right? Do we know that? We sure did, right? And even if you go back to last February when they were getting pounded, here, if we go to the weekly, go to the weekly and you go, here was last February after last January. Oh, January was up huge. Was it? No kidding. Full time frame continuity to the upside. One of the most important things that people don't realize is when something occurs matters. When is this happening? Right? Are you going to, well, if it breaks by level, if it breaks your level over, with 2 minutes to go on a Friday or with 5 minutes to go in front of the Fed, are you going to buy it? No. Right? So here's the difference. Here was the difference between January and February last year. The 2-2 reversal right here, which pounded them and caused the 2-2 reversal month here. Then we had shorter term reversals down in here. I won't get into that because I want to continue on more recent history. So what just happened? What just happened this year? Okay. So we know, like small cappers on the monthly, we're doing this here, right? Oh, the 2-1-2 reversal. Think that might happen again? Just did. January 2-1-2 and back up in February right here. Small cap, SPY. Do we know about that? Sure did. So then if we go down to the weekly, we take these longer term charts and we bring them, then we can micro it down, right? Let's go to the weekly. I wonder what the bottom looks like in SPY. What's the bottom? Is it a reversal? I don't know. 2 in one direction, followed by a 2. And unless there's a reversal on the weekly, it's not a reversal. It's a continuation. Is that a reversal? Nope. 2, 2, 2. The 1 consolidation, there was your chance. Nope. Continuation. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And what happened this week? Finally, 2 goes 3. Right? Was there a way we could have known that? You bet there was. You bet there was. The daily gaps up, right? Beginning of the month, is it not? Oh, yeah. Beginning of the month. And we come in on a Monday, and what do we get? Oh, yeah. It was so pretty. Here, the 2260 reversal, smash them, right? Comes powering through, takes out the entire range. And once it does that, then we don't know, right? Then we don't know. It takes all these things out on the weekly. Then it's got to continue. But it did what it's supposed to do. Go outside on this thing. Now it's a matter of whether it's a range expansion or not, right? But we certainly knew about that. And we certainly had the ability to do this, 2-2 reversal, and go back up the other way. Now you're countering the day when you do that. And there's something called control, which I can teach you in the course. Who has control? The 60 always has control. It's a matter of how much control it is, right? So was this a 2-2 reversal where you get long after being short from here? Yes, yes. And if you go QQQ, you're gonna see this. There's your 2260 reversal. There's your 2-1-2 reversal on the Qs, right back up, right? So we can nail things on both sides. We call it country and Western. And it works in everything. If you want to go to gold, here. What happened this month in gold? Let's take a look. And I promise you, when you get done with this and you start looking at charts, you're not going to believe it. You're going to see this stuff in everything. And so when I teach people, oftentimes I'll keep them on like a 1 or 3 minute SPY, and you'll see these things play out a billion times all day. Anyway, here's the gold monthly chart. Is it the bottom in gold? 2, 1, 2. 1 consolidation, 2 continuation, continuation, continuation. 2-2 reversal on the month. If you go to the weekly, 2-2 weekly triggers month puker, all that stuff outside that. Then if you want to time it, you go down to the 30. Here you go. Kaboom. Do we want in? We do. 2 down, 2 up. The 2-2-2 continuation with full time frame continuity. Pow, right there. See you later, gold. No higher high until all the way down here. If we go to today, right, then we know that ones exist. We know 3s and 1s exist. So once the SPY came back into here, if you were one of those people getting chopped up trading the SPY yesterday, that's because you don't know what a 1 is. It's an inside day. Not a good, you don't want to trade a 1, right? It's consolidating. You can get killed in there. Today, yes. Yesterday, no. Did we know about this? We did. The 1-2. And so what you can do here is then we go through and we go with things that have a little more leverage. IBB. I make a short video every night, and I can convey this stuff because we all speak the same language. If you've ever been in a chat room, like, is that support? Is this a thing? And let's talk about that. We all speak the same language. We know exactly. I can convey this to you very quickly, right? We can converse very quickly because we all think the same way. The whole community understands this stuff. So if you look at IBB, you'll see this inside bar 1, 3, 1. Right? And the 3 is powerful because we know they've already taken out both sides of the previous range. That means we got some real active people in there, right? They're willing to pay up and sell down. And if that expands, it gets worse. So here's your inside bar to the downside. You can hit it right there. And then when you want some more leverage, you can go Labu. Bam, right here, right? Labu, when it took out 60.44. There you go. You like $7? No problem. Right. And then we know that because then we can look at other things in there. VRTX doing the same thing today. Boom, 188, whatever, 181, $7 out of that. And granted, some of these things move quickly, and I understand that. And I can show you how to get in on things. This is a 3, right? They took them out both sides. Not only can you get in right here, full time frame continuity to the downside. If this expands, the 3 goes 2 and continues. Here you go. You see this? 1, 2, 2 reversal back down. Right here gets you in. Right there. And you can, that's still up with 183.50, something like that. There's still a couple bucks left on that. And it's in everything all the time. And you can use all these different time frames to get in on stuff like this. You got Amgen, pow, right? Amgen just falls apart because we know that it's happening in everything. It's called a simultaneous break, right? And so just like those things I showed you in the broader averages, October, December, and how all those charts looked very similar, it's called a simultaneous break when everything is breaking at the same time. And we know that, right? And that's why you get killed if you don't know that and say, I think it might be the bottom. I'm like, do you? Really? Good luck with that. Get in there. Good luck. Here it comes. Everybody's hitting the bid in everything, and you're going to try and buy it? I don't think so. So also, like a sector-wise, also XLV was getting hit. We know that's been getting hit recently, and it does the same thing. There's your 312 down. And we've seen things like Cigna getting destroyed, right? And Cigna here, you got full time frame continuity? You do. There's 2 down red. And your week still down. Here's your 2-2 reversal on the week. And you just look at the daily. 2 down, 2 up. See ya right there. Hit them. And now you got another inside date down here, still going. There's a multitude of ways to get you in. We can also look at, let's see, McKesson. I do the Wheels in Motion show on our YouTube on Tuesday nights, and I talked about all the monthlies and the weeklies that are tuning in the direction to the downside. Was one of them McKesson? It was. McKesson here, monthly, 2 up, 2 down. Full time frame continuity to the downside? You betcha. That's what I like my shorts to look like. Here, 2 down, 2 up, right there. You see, and then that triggers the monthly and all that kind of stuff. Real good stuff. Especially, like I said, it was a simultaneous break in most things, but especially in healthcare today, right? Then we also look at one that was I make a weekend video of all this stuff and then come back and reconfirm it on Tuesdays, right? And I make a video every night. Alaska Air, did we know about this? We did. Here, 2 down, 2 up month, boom, all right? And one of the concepts that when we reach a more advanced level, not today, here's another one of the problems with reading charts and not analyzing the statistical data. You need to understand that if a weekly chart updated on Wednesday at noon, it would look completely different. All right. If a daily chart updated at noon instead of on the opening, it would look completely different. Right. So when people try to analyze using one time frame, they have almost no idea what they're looking at. Right. If they're not analyzing the statistical data. So what I mean by that is I can change a chart in my mind because I know outside bars exist. I don't have to have one to know that that phenomenon exists. They take out both sides of the range. So when I have a 2 like this that goes up and goes 2-2 here, my magnitude is we're going to take this out, right? We know how far to expect things to go. Why? Because if this was a 2-month chart, this would be an outside bar of that. All right, so I won't get into too heavy duty concepts of that, but let's get just a few more here. Walgreens here. One of the things that's called a rev strat, a reversal strategy. And what that means is when you have an inside bar and an attempt to go in one side two and you don't stay there and come ripping back, that's your compound 3 on a different chart, right? Equilibrium, attempt, fail, right there. And their magnitude is to take these out because on the 2-month chart, this would be an outside bar right there, right? And you'll see that in DVA right now, right? And then if you want to look at the long side, oh, I'm sorry, let's take a look at also how we knew. When we know all the time frames, right? How else did we know that we were going to get waxed last year? And I'll show you. You see this? This is a quarterly chart. This is the fourth quarter. So when we came down here, this was a 1, 2. Rev strat here in the SPY. Did we know that? We sure did. Below 269.24, full throttle downside. We knew we had an additional signal as a not just the monthlies, but we had a quarterly rev strat to pound them, right? So if we go to, you might say, sometimes you can fight continuity. You just have to know what you're doing, right? It's called control. Like I said, the 60 is always in control. So just today, if you look at AVAV, right? Yes, is it green on all time frames? Yes, but then it gaps up, all right, and starts running. Is this a 212 reversal on the 30-minute? I think it is, all right. It's up 92.60. There you go. It's $9 with no heat. That's the good part about it. And what it did was, when it did that, you're going to notice when I said we know what the robots are doing by looking at the opening direction of price. Buy, 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 buy. Is the buy machine still on? Nope. See ya. Boom. 212, the reversal on the 30 takes it right down. And that's why we watch the gap list every morning. This stuff happens all the time. You need to understand how often what I'm showing you works, and it happens every day. And so let's say, well, what would we buy today? If you're trying to bottom pick the SPY or something, you would buy something that has full time frame kind of the upside, right? Because everybody's a buyer. Here, is Dollar Tree green on the month? It is. Is it green on the week? It is. Is it green today? It is. Is it green on the 60? Yep. Not only that, went inside. Right, there's your inside bar consolidation on the 60. Here's your 1, 2, 2 rev strat back in off the 30. And let's see, now we'll leave it on the 30. 30 was a clean one. So you can just see that how clear some of this stuff is. And the great thing about 30s and 60s is it takes an hour or more to set up. It's not that hard to set up, right? And so we can break this already down to 5 minutes because we know what's going on, right? So, and everybody's comfortable doing that, but we're tracking so much. If you understood, like when some people go, well, how many setups do you have during the day? I'm like, I have billions of them, right? So this is my desk, right? We can't get to them all. All I'm doing all day is searching more stuff out because it's happening in everything. And yes, it can be stuff that keeps going like Alaska Air. I'm like, just keep hitting them, keep hitting them, keep hitting them. Because one of the problems that people have is their position sizing. And what they'll do is that they'll take their initial position, right? And then as it goes their way, start selling out of it, right? If you have this, most people would start selling if they owned this. We buy more, right? When somebody says, I think it's going from 60 to 70, and then it does, and then they say, oh, I just sold my last piece. I'm like, look, man, if it's going from 60 to 70, I want to be as long as I've ever been when it gets to 70, right? But people don't know how to gauge magnitude. Once you understand how to understand the 3 and compound 3, we know where it's going. As long as there's no reversal, we know exactly where it's going, right? Otherwise, a reversal would have to occur against us. If that doesn't happen, right, we're good to go, and we keep going. One last thing I want to show you. Not only in the SPY quarterly, we use yearly charts, and I want to show you how clear this is if you were managing money with the S&P. Going back to, I don't know, let's say 89. All right. 2 up, long. 2 up. Took that out, long. 2 up, long. 2 up was long. 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 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2 potentially goes 3. Reverse and get short. 2, 2, 2 inside year. Reverse and get long. 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2 reversal. Reverse and get short. Puke. 2, 2, 2 reversal. Reverse and get long. Now remember what I just told you about multiple bars? You see this? These 3 years completely outside of all this. There's your outside bar. You just can't see it. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. This actually ticked down and came back to go 3, 2. All right, which was beautiful because you had stuff like Boeing do that. 3, 2. That's something you want to know about because there's also only so many combinations that could happen from not only one bar to the next, but a series of 3 bars, which tells us more of what's going on. I won't go into that today, but it definitely can. If you want a checklist, something very important and you can go back and look at anything you've ever done, I'm going to tell you right now. I already know what your winning trades look like, and I already know what your losing trades look like. Your losing trades look like chopped up trading an inside bar 1. You were fighting a 2. You were fighting a 3, and you had time frame continuity against you. Your winning trades look like this: 2 in your favor, 3 in your favor, time frame continuity in your favor. Period. That has to. It's impossible not to. All right. You might say, "Oh, I traded a 1, and I made a little bit." Yeah, maybe you did. All right. Did you make anywhere near what you should? No. So at this point, Mike, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think I've made my point, and hopefully it makes sense to people. When people come to me, one of the things that they say is it just makes perfect sense, right? Out of all the other abstract concepts and all those other kind of things that go on, it makes sense. When I show you these things, it just makes absolute sense. It's impossible for these things not to happen. It's impossible for time frame continuity not to mean that every man, woman, and bot is taking the offer. So yeah, I think Mike's back here, but thanks for listening. We're gonna have some questions. He's got some stuff for you, but hopefully you took a lot out of this.
Okay, thank you, Rob. That was awesome. So when we talked before about the concepts of the red pill and the blue pill, you could see this is something completely different from what you've experienced before. So I'm going to ask you a very simple question, which is, do you want to learn an all new way to trade? Do you want to take an adventure? Yes, sure, always. Good. Everybody's up for an adventure. I'm glad. And we're going to do a deal tonight that we've never done before. I've said that on many webinars, and it's always been true. But this one might blow your mind. So I want you to pay attention because there's a lot here. There's a ton of stuff, and it only costs you a tiny little bit of money. But there's also a surprise, so pay attention. So the biggest question we get with almost anything is, can I do it? Because it doesn't mean anything if Rob makes money, but it means something if you make money. So what you see on the screen is probably one of the coolest messages we've ever gotten in the trading room. Tim from Louisiana said, "Hey Rob, to open my 12-year-old her first trading account, went live Thursday, made $1,300 her first day last week." Earlier, Rob talked about men, women, and bots taking offers. We have a 12-year-old doing it. A 12-year-old. And later on, we'll talk about what she actually did with the money. So, first part of the deal is trading live with Rob in the Quant Edge room, which is a room on the virtual trading floor. It's a $295 a month value. It's a steady stream of actionable trading signals directly from Rob. The room is open from 9 to 4, Monday to Friday. So you implement the concepts with Rob by your side. And it's a friendly, supportive community with people sharing ideas all day long, trading all instruments, all time frames. It's really cool. So this is just a quick look at what the room looks like. You could see streaming video, streaming audio, streaming chat. So it also includes weekly and daily videos and spreadsheets so you know what to look for before the day and week starts. You get a step ahead of the crowd. You get Rob's curated list of actionable signals. The regular price of the room is $295. You can sign up today and save $200. So that's $95 to get started. That's $200 off. If you want to sign up at t3live.com/Rob, you can do that right now. I'm going to shoot the link out to you, but there's more. So I want you to type yes if you want more. The price is going to stay the same at $95, but if you want more, type in yes. I want to see 100 yeses. I'm going to cut the deal off and not give you the extra stuff unless there's 100 yeses. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Frank. More. Good. Everybody wants more. I want you to be greedy. I want you to get as much as you can. All right, cool. So first bonus is live weekly coaching sessions with Rob. So it's a weekly live Q&A Thursdays at 5 p.m. So there is one tomorrow. So if you want to know what's going on in the market today, if you want to know what's going on tomorrow, you want to be at that Q&A. So you get all your questions answered and you learn new ways to implement the strategy in real market conditions. So you don't just get thrown out there. You ask Rob all the questions you want. So the most elite athletes and business people use coaches. If you've never been coached, you are missing out. Is there anybody here who has not had a trading coach? Type yes if you've never had a trading coach before. I'm just curious how many people. Almost everybody saying yes. You are missing out because you're not getting an objective view on what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. It's always helpful to get an expert's point of view. So we think coaching is completely underrated. If you're not interfacing with people more experienced than you are on a regular basis, you are missing out. Bonus number 2, this is the big one. The Quant Edge Home Study Program. It's a 12-video home study course covering actionable signals, time frame continuity, which Rob covered to some degree, and broadening formations. It's 16 hours of training. 16 hours. It's a $795 value, absolutely free. And it's included. So you're finally going to see price action with perfect clarity and zero confusion. You're going to focus only on signals that lead you to the big trades. And more importantly, you're going to boost your confidence and eliminate your stress. Trading should not be a miserable experience. It should be enjoyable. It should be fun. So this is just a quick screen grab of what it looks like, just so you guys understand it's a real video course, 16 hours divided up into 12 videos, everything you need to know. And then also, there's what we like to call the Netflix of trading. So it's over 400 videos in your customer portal. So if you want to binge watch, you have literally hundreds of hours of additional education. It would take you, I don't know why I'm suddenly having trouble doing it. It would take you like a month of watching 24 hours a day to get through them. And then there'd still be new ones showing up at the end. So let's add it up. So you get the Quant Edge room, $295 value. Live weekly coaching sessions, $150 value. The Quant Edge home study program, which is a $795 value. And the Quant Edge video library, 400 plus videos and growing. We'll just say that's free, just to be nice. So it's a $1,240 total value. The regular price is $295, but you're in for just $95. To sign up, go to t3live.com/Rob, t3live.com/Rob. I'm going to shoot everybody the link right now. So what's the catch? No catch to anything. The $200 discount ends tomorrow at midnight, so sign up and don't miss out. There's a Quant Edge coaching session tomorrow night. Get in now so you can attend. Do you need a discount code? No, absolutely not. Just go to t3live.com/Rob. I'm going to just show you on the screen what it looks like. The coupon code is already entered. All you have to do is enter your information and you will be good to go. Again, go to t3live.com/Rob. So what happens after your first month at $95? Oh, so Quant Edge renews at $295 per month. if Rob doesn't make you 10 times what you paid, just cancel. Like, that's the way we look at this. 295. Thank you. It looks like we have some contestants already. Thank you, Randall, Eric, Benny M, Sean, Matthew, Sean, and Brian. Thank you guys for getting in. We appreciate it. So, again, if Rob doesn't make you 10 times what you paid, just cancel. Like, that's the way we look at these. It's $95 to get started. If you don't like it, just cancel. No hard feelings, no hassles. It takes about 30 seconds. So again, put a number in your head. So how about that? Let me ask you guys another question. How much money do you want to make in March trading? What's your goal? Doesn't matter how big or small it is, just like, what's your goal for March? How much money do you want to make? Thank you, Sherry and Edward, for getting in. All right, 6,000, 10K, 10K, 50K, 5,000. So simple. You guys have big goals, which is important. Here, you bet 95 on Rob, $95. Some of you are looking to make $50,000, which God bless you if you can do it. You can put Rob to the test for just 90. If somebody wants to make 100 grand. So if Rob gets you towards your goals, $95 is nothing, and $295 might be less than nothing to you. If Rob helps you make 5 or 10 grand, obviously there are no promises. Your results are your own. $295 is going to look cheap, and $95 is crazy cheap considering you're getting the $795 education included. So again, why is it so inexpensive? People seem to like this try before you buy model, and it's a low risk deal for you and for us. So some people cancel, and some people immediately say, sign me up for an annual. We like this way. $95, it's for you, you stay on. If it's not for you, best of luck to you. No hard feelings. So what if I can't make a coaching session? A couple of people asked already. No problem. You get a recording, and it's part of that 400 plus video library, which gives you more trading content than you're ever going to know what to do with. So again, you get a recording. We got a whole bunch of people signing up. Thank you, Brent, Hung John, Christina, Louise, Brian, Martin, Harrison, Richard, David, and Larry. Thank you all. Can I take the education and cancel? I know. At least 50 of you people are thinking this. Yes, you can. We would like you to stay on, but the rules state that monthly memberships can be canceled at any time. So if it's not for you, no big deal. We want you to stay on, but obviously you don't have to. So what asset classes does Quant Edge work with? So basically it's pretty simple. All assets on all time frames. Quant Edge members trade stocks, options, futures, forex, cryptos, and more. If it has a price and it has a chart, you can use Quant Edge on it. So a few people asked already about trading platforms and software. You don't need anything special. You can use whatever you have. Is it easy to learn? I'm going to sound like a broken record, but if a 12-year-old can do it, because I see this, made $1,300 their first day last week. How many people made $1,300 this week or today? Or who made $1,300 in the last week? Type in yes if you made $1,300 last week. We got a few yeses. We got some no's. Somebody said in a real job I did. Yeah. So what would you do with an extra $1,300? She bought her and her sister Apple Watches from the Strat. So Rob Strat bought Apple Watches. That's a 12-year-old's goal. Maybe you want to buy something else. They wanted Apple Watches. Mitchell said first day in the room, made my house and both car payments, which is pretty crazy. Ramesh said, I am so mad. Why did I not find Rob earlier? New Range Rover, somebody said. Darren said, I have made so much money. I have made so much money following Rob Smith, I don't need anyone else. Simple and effective, changed my life. Nicholas said, from all things I've attended in my trading ventures, this is the only real thing. Probably sold too soon, but we'll take it. Regeneron calls. In at 120, out at $8, 567% gain. Ulta options, bought at 6, sold at 12, made $3K, which is better than working $300 at $10 an hour, which we totally agree with. Frank said, in and out on SPX, 2690 calls, $1.70 to 270, 60% in 14 seconds. 60% in 14 seconds. I've never made 16% in 14 seconds. I don't know about you guys. Blaine said, Netties paid for the spring semester, now trying to pay for next year. I paid for college working in a supermarket, jumping into dumpsters and throwing out rotten fruits and vegetables. I should have been doing Quant Edge. Michelle said, thanks for the triangles, 12 cents to 70 cents on several DIA puts expiring today. That's a 483% gain. Let's see who else is signed up. Thank you, Harrison, Richard, David, Larry, Paul, Dan, Elizabeth, Ferris, and Ronald. So we're getting a whole new crowd in here. Okay, been here since Tuesday. Green every day, up $1,500 trading really small size. Up $1,500 trading really small size, so you don't need $1 million account to make this work for you. You just need the will to learn. Rob calls out stuff just for me and traders like me. I make money 9 out of 10 days. Had a great day today with Amazon and Square, said GDS. So guys, again, t3live.com/Rob. And again, you sign up today. If you sign up during this webinar only, you can win the $2,500 grand prize. We've never done it before. Never done it before. I don't know if we're going to do it again. Thank you, Steven. Steven just got in. Rules-based strategy makes trading decisions way easier than any other technical analysis. Made back the fee in one trade. Made back the fee in one trade. And this is just $95, so doesn't need to be a big trade. Randy from Oregon said, Randy's one of our top customers. He's one of the best people in Rob's room. Rob consistently calls out favorable positions to our attention. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Sin. Sorry, we're just getting more people in. I want to thank every single person individually. Rob consistently calls out favorable positions to bring to our attention, not just at the time of the trade, but during the weekend and daily videos to put them on our radar. In my first 2 weeks, I was 100% winners on my day trades. Now, that's an outlier. 100% winners is an outlier. So, obviously, we can't make promises, but you're seeing what regular people are achieving. Grant from Pennsylvania said, terrific teacher, very helpful and understanding, great person, truly cares about the success of his students. No better person in the industry. And you'll see that in the amount of work Rob puts in. You're going to be shocked at how much he gives you. When I first joined his room, shorted VRX, he guided me where to add to my position and where to find the exit. It was an amazing coaching program. Rob made us feel very comfortable in the way he transferred all his knowledge to all of us, said Marcelo from Argentina. Started using the strat on a small account, and after testing it, I am up a little over 31% just this week. So people are making money with small accounts. A bunch of people are asking about do I need a big trading account? We can't tell you you need a specific size of trading account, but here's a general rule to follow. The only way to get to a big account is to learn. So you can take the education and cancel after the first month, or just see where you are after the first month to see if it makes sense for you. So focus on that. You don't get to be a star. Nobody becomes a millionaire without learning first. Same thing with sports. If you're playing golf, you need to learn how to swing the club. You're not going to make it to the majors unless you learn how to swing the club. Trading is no different. You want a big account, focus on learning. That's the first step you have to take in your adventure, is to start learning. Clark from Canada said, paid for itself after my first day of live trading. Shorted VXX off the 15-minute inside bar at 2:30. Cha-ching. And thank you to Steve, Ira, and Tomas. Oh, sorry, Harry, for signing up. We're getting a whole bunch of new people to Quant Edge tonight, which I'm really excited about. This market is ripe with opportunity. Somebody said I'll join tomorrow, worth the education videos alone. Couldn't agree more. So let's wrap up the deal. Join the Quant Edge room, $295 value. Live weekly coaching sessions, a $150 value. Quant Edge home study program, $795 value, which I think is the best reason to join. If you don't have time for a trading room, just having the education and the coaching makes a $95 deal worth it. $95 deal worth it. Remember, you don't have to stay on. You don't have to stay on after the first month. Our wager is that you will want to stay in. That's what we think. We think you're going to say 295 is cheap. Because again, I saw your goal. Some of you said, I want to make 5,000 a month. Somebody wants to make 10,000 a month. If Rob gets you on the way there, you're going to say it's cheap. And as you can see, the value on this deal is insane. $1,240 total value. And you're in for 95 bucks. And again, if you buy during this webinar, we will enter you into the Quant Edge sweepstakes. So you can win a 1-year subscription, which is worth $2,495 value. If you take this deal, one of you is getting that subscription, an annual subscription. So I am going to so again, I'm going to shoot you guys the link one more time. Make sure everybody has it. You can go to t3live.com/Rob. And basically what's going to happen is, so let me explain you how this is going to work. So when we run out of buyers, I'm just going to cut it off and say, that's the end. And if you get in after, you can't win. Only people that get in before I cut it off can win the grand prize. So I can't emphasize it enough. Take this deal now. Get yourself entered for that $2,495 prize. You will kick yourself because somebody else gets it. It could be you. The odds of this are way better than Rob talked about the lottery. Lottery's like 1 in 10 trillion. This is maybe 1 in a couple hundred. So you have a chance to win. So we are going to open up to questions. So Rob, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, and thank you, Paul, for joining. Paul, welcome aboard. So Rob, do you use volume at all?
I don't. I will on the weekends. I will have it up. It's volume's really more of a matter of liquidity because it's subjective. I could be big print. I have no idea what's going on in there. So no. So I just want to point out, make sure everybody knows exactly what we do. It's like that they know that I'm on the headset all day long, every day. That I make a video every single night. That I come on and do the Wheels in Motion show on Tuesday nights. The coaching session goes an hour and a half on Thursdays. I make a weekend video and then I make a macro video. I just want to make sure everybody understands that you're going to be more prepared than you think. So,
okay, so Rob, so people keep asking, or it keeps coming up. Does this work for novice traders? Does this work for beginners?
It's better if you're a beginner because I don't have to reprogram your brain with all the other stuff that you've heard. I would prefer that because if you can see green and red, or if you know, if you're colorblind and can see white and black, and you can understand these very simple concepts, you're going to understand it. It makes sense. And so I would prefer that you don't, because when people bring that baggage, and first of all, when they come, I'm like, get your indicators off your screen. They're like, but get them off, and then they do it, and you see things much more clearly. So I prefer people who've never traded before.
Okay, so do people need a particular platform or charting software or anything?
Well, it's it's a matter of how active you're going to be. So what most people will see is you start buying screens because there's so much of it. You don't have to. So it's just a matter of your level of involvement, because you can do this and you have people, you be going all day long. Just bam, 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 bam. There's so much to do. Or you can just take it slow. And like I showed you, some of the 30 and 60 minutes, that takes an hour or so to set up. It's not that hard. So it's all a matter of how nutty you want to get with it. You can take this to such ridiculous levels. We have scans that we use, and so there's different software for that. But it's all really comes down to how nutty you want to get with it. Because when I showed you how there's multiple time frames that you can't see, we got searches for stuff like that too. And really, you want to train your mind on that. So no special software, but like I said, when you come in and you meet the community, everybody's very helpful on what they use and how they do it. And on Thursday nights when we do the coaching session, there's people that don't have to be there, right? They're already very good at this, but they come and they help. And they're like, look, I just set up and I got this. I'm like, okay, I've got that too. And we do this, and then you want to do this, you want to do that. It's really great. And like I said during the webinar, that it's not confusing, right? It makes sense. We all speak the same language, right? So you don't have to sit there and say, oh yeah, well, let's see what Joe thinks if this set up or not. We don't do that. It's like, it's go time here. It's go time here. Ready? It's go time here, here, and here, because.
Okay, let's see what else we have. So a couple of people are asking about time frames. So what, I mean, we touched on this a little bit, but is it better for one time frame or another?
Is one more powerful than the other?
Well, I guess for the system overall, I would say the best way to put it is it best for day trading, swing trading, or
Everything, because it's I mean, there's going to be more variables the longer time you hold stuff on, shorter term reversals. It works on everything, and that's why we will look for yearly setups. Then we can look for reconfirmation on the quarterly setups, and then reconfirmation on the monthly. So we're putting that all together. So I've got people, like I showed you that Boeing. I've got people that are still long Netflix from 2 years ago, and that went inside a year to the upside. So it's all a matter of, it works on anything because price action is uniform. You can't change it, right? So we know what's happening. So long as it's good on a longer term, you can swing, you can hold it till kingdom come. I don't care. One of the things you're not going to do is hold a losing position, period, right? We get rid of those as fast as possible. The most money you can possibly make on a losing position is losing 1 cent. And I don't want to do that. Another thing that we do by using these setups that I show you is not only are we using the robots to our favor, we're also using their money, right? Once you are have a profitable trade, you can do anything you want now. You can take some off. You could add to it, right? We like to press. It's like if you go to the casino and and here's $1 million, go nuts. Yeah, I'm going to go nuts. Yeah, double down. Do this, do this. That's why we want to have house money. So our initial positions are designed to put you in a winning position. Then we can do whatever I want. I don't care if I'm up 200 and I'm only up $50. That doesn't bother me, right? I'm still up, right? But if I go $200 and start pressing it, right? Now we're talking 1,000, 2,000, and it's all with their money, not my risk, right? So that's how it's designed to work. Is we want to add to our winners. Like I was saying during the webinar, it's like if it's going up through a 3 and going to highs, I want to be as long as I've ever been when it gets up there. So it works on every single time frame. I've got people trading off 1 minute charts.
Okay, so somebody just asked hourly and daily charts. So yeah, there are day traders using 1 minute charts. So here's a good question, Rob. Are there options traders in the room?
Definitely, yes. We're trading pretty much everything that moves. So for the options, obviously the executions can be a little more precise. Once you see how these threes work, an outside bar, right? If you haven't seen that, you really have a very rudimentary understanding of how price action works. It's in everything. And so once it goes, we can rip it from one side to the other. And that's where a lot of people use those shorter term options, especially when it comes through a strike, because we know that phenomenon occurs. And we know that if it's going to go further than we thought, it's going to be during a period of full time frame counter. It has to.
Okay. Yeah, and again, if anybody, so a couple of people are asking about options. I'm showing you on the screen some of the testimonials we have. Michelle bought diamond, puts on the diamonds, went from 12 cents to 70 cents. I'm pretty sure there were a few more in here. Frank was trading SPX calls. So if you know anything about options, then you know you need to find volatility. You need to find things that move. That's what this system is all about. You need to find, that's how you beat options, beat time decay in options. You find volatility. And you're going to learn that with the home study program. So so somebody asked, do you train on how to use the Thinkorswim platform? No, there's no specific platform training. I actually use Thinkorswim myself, and it's actually a pretty simple system. And Thinkorswim, they have really good customer service. So if you get on the phone with them, they'll walk you through anything. And I'll actually throw that out to everybody. Call your brokerage firm. You're paying them money. They actually want to help you learn to use their systems. You should really take advantage of that. So who else is in? So thank you, Paul, Mark, Tim, and Donald. So again, get in tonight. $95, and we enter you in the sweepstakes.
Yeah,
So,
another thing, Mike, I wanted to say that when I showed you the example from December, and if you didn't make that big move in December, we ran a Cyber Monday sale, and I did that month for people for $27. And if you want to talk to people who the best $27 they ever spent, that was our December deal, right? When you see if you didn't know that, right? If you keep seeing things piling down and you're trying to buy the proverbial falling knife, don't do that. You don't have to do that. For all I'm going to do for you, like I said, and eventually everybody's going to do it this way. There's no doubt in my mind. It's just a matter of getting the word out. And now I'm glad that you're listening, right? I want you to see this. For $100, for $100, what I'm showing you is how it can't not work. It's impossible for price to not work this way. And that once you understand that, you don't care what anybody thinks. And that's what empowers you, how free you are. Once you know, I don't have to think. I'm like, oh, sometimes they go up and come right back. And sometimes we know exactly what that looks like. And so will you. And so no matter what you do, if you just want to, use it for your longer term investing or building portfolios or sitting there banging out day trading, I'm like, this is stuff you have to know. Right? There is nothing else. And as much as you might see the Twitter feed of guys saying this and that, they know nothing compared to this. I respect people that make money, right? It just most people, even that are successful traders, aren't making it for the reason they think they are, right? They're making it because they manage their risk properly, but their analysis has absolutely nothing to do with it. And that's why you'll hear people say, "Oh, I got out too early," right? Or it's going to stop me out and go. All these kind of things that they just throw out there because they have no idea what's going on, right? Once you know what I just showed you, we know what's happening. How empowering that is. And when you get those reversals back into full time frame, like, you're ready, here we go. When's it going to go, Rob? 3, 2, 1, now. Bam. Right? It's not I'm going to give it some time to wiggle room. No, it's going right now. Right? There's no reason it shouldn't go right now. It's reversing back into where everybody's taking the offer. Why would this thing not go up? If it doesn't, we get out, unknown participant. But when it does, right, they really go. I know we're kind of globally here, but United States, we have baseball home run derby before the All-Star game, and it's kind of like that: foul ball, home run, home run, home run, home run, because we're always cutting our losses immediately, and because of what I showed you, there's every reason to believe in the world to believe these trades are going to work, right?
okay, Rob, here's a really interesting question. How is this different from hiking Ashi charting, which is HEIKENAASHI charting.
No,
I don't know if you know what that is.
no idea.
No
I have
idea.
no idea. What I'm telling you is the truth, and the things that can't change. Right? You can't say that price action is ever going to change. It's always been the same. It can't be. It can't not do one of the three things. Right? It can only reverse so many ways. Right? And that's where when I tell you that multiple time frame analysis is what most people miss, that's what you have to do, because to eliminate, like I said, charting that would update on a Wednesday and be a weekly chart would be different. When you look at least 4 time frames, we know exactly what's happening. It's reversing on this, it's going 3 on that, it's breaking a 1 on that, which is going to reconfirm it all. It's not that hard. 1, 2, 3, up or down.
Okay. So how do you scan to find these patterns?
I showed you my desk, so I've got 16 27-inch monitors. I scan using TC2000 software. We have scans for that. You can scan right along with me, right? And then it's a matter of scanning for the combinations of things that we already know, right? So at any given time, I can tell you all the things that are below last month's lows. So when the S&P goes full time frame continuity to the downside, there's our hit list, right? And like today, we knew the inside bar break for the Labu and the SPY. We knew all that, all right? So yeah, we got the scans for the TC2000, which I use and some people use for TOS, and people in the room are always sharing code and all this kind of stuff to get to it faster.
Okay, let's see what other questions. All right, so will the webinar be available later? Yes, we're going to send the recording tomorrow morning, but I'm going to shoot the link out to you guys one more time.
I'm also going to say this too, that one of the great things about this, what I'm showing you, when I talk about empowering you, once you have this, you don't need me anymore, right? It's much better with me because I do all the research and I'm monitoring during the day. What I'm trying to do is empower you and help you, right? I'm trying to change this industry from a bunch of lies to the truth. So once you know this, right, you don't really need anybody. It's much better in the community and with me because I do all the research on the weekends. I'm monitoring it all day long. I can trading. One of the things that people don't realize, trading is one of the reasons people, besides being taught lies, why they fail. It's a 2-person job, right? If you're going to sit there and try and analyze and execute at the same time, we're going to destroy you, right? Because I'm sitting there monitoring. I'm sitting there monitoring the price while you're hitting the keys, while somebody else is trying to figure out if it's a thing. We're going to destroy you, right? And we have a whole community going after it, right? It's so when you're trying to do it by yourself, no, no.
Okay, and so I don't think it can be put any better than that. But so I am closing out the sweep. Unless you want to get in now, I am closing out the sweepstakes, everyone. We have our random number generator to random letter generator actually ready to go. If you want to get in the sweepstakes right now, this is the last chance to do it. You have to do it now. T3live.com/Rob. I will give you guys 5 minutes and then I'm cutting it off. I'm going to just quickly so everybody understands exactly what's at stake. If you take this $95 deal, you may win a whole year of Quant Edge. It's a $2,495 value. You have to take the deal in the next 5 minutes when I shut the webinar down. I have my secret selection method. I have the winner up on my screen right now. You can knock this person out. There is a chance you can knock them out and take the $2,495 prize. Rob thinks this is hilarious, but it's true. And we might just do this again because it's so funny. Arlo is in, and Donald just got in the mix. So again, you sign up in the next 5 minutes, you might win a whole year of Quant Edge. And this isn't like the SATs where you got to wait 3 months to get your scores. You're going to find out right away if you won or not. So I see the winner on my screen. He may get knocked out. He may get knocked out by you. William is in. William, thank you very much. I can't see everybody's names, but I'm just dying to see. Somebody asked me if I am a carny. Yes. I take that as a compliment. We're just doing this to make the event a little more fun and to thank people because, listen, it's one thing to say thank you for showing up for the webinar, but so I just actually took a note of the time because I'm cutting this section out of the webinar replay tomorrow because everybody's going to get pissed off. They didn't get a chance to win this deal. So we're giving you a thank you for showing up. We're making the deal more valuable to you. And I can tell you from now on, straight from T3 Live Management, people who show up to our webinars are going to get rewarded. There are going to always be extras for people who show up to his webinar. You've been here for almost 90 minutes. You deserve something better than people who didn't put any time in. So that's why we're doing it. So am I a carny? Who cares? It's an awesome deal. Like, you can call me whatever you want. Can anybody deny that this is, all right, let's just wrap it up. Aside from the sweepstakes, who can deny that this deal is awesome? Tell me this is not an awesome deal.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to add something. We forgot to change it. That Ulta trade that you showed up there, that was actually Jenna. She's 15. Like I said, once you know this, my people are training their kids. They're handing this down already, right? If you can get this, it's just like a video game, right? If you can, and you know how good kids are at that, you can train your kids, right? And hand this down generation once you know this. And say, I'm not the huckster that we have here, and I'm not a salesman. I do my job, and I've been doing this for 30 years, and it took me 20 years to figure it out, and another 7 to narrow it down to how it is, right? And that took a lot of work. And the most thing I want to do is I want to share it with other people, right? And if I can do that for $100, I think that's a pretty good deal for 30 years of work, right? It's because it's not about the money; it's about showing it to you.
I think that's a great way to put it. Somebody said we deserve 1 month free to try. Well, I think this is better than 1 free month. This is way better than, listen, we've done free trials before, and this is a way better deal than a free month because you're getting the coaching, you're getting the home study program, the video library, and the sweepstakes. You might just win. William and Arlo just stepped up because they want the prize. So should I hold on for anybody else? I'm going to announce the winner. So you need to get in right now because say hold on if you're still signing up. I will hang on, and then I will do the recalculation and figure out the winner. Tell me hold on if I should hold on. Literally type hold on if you want me to hold on. Otherwise, I'm going to announce the winner. Somebody says time's up. All right, somebody said hold on. So you better get in there. So let's see what other questions we have. All right, so a couple of people are asking about like how they get their login. All that stuff gets emailed to you. There's going to be specific instructions for hopping in the room, all that stuff. So here's a dead obvious question. So Rob, do you actually call trades in the room?
Basically, what I will direct the traffic, right? So one of the things that you'll see when you come in there, as I've had people with me for a very long time, and you need to communicate with me, right? And that's what we'll talk about in the coaching session and stuff like that. Everybody trades differently and they trade different things. Once I know who you are and what you do, I can call directly to you because I know exactly what you're looking at and I know what you do. Right? It's part of what goes on in my head. I'm watching a lot of things. One of the testimonies you saw, Judy, I called directly to Judy. I know exactly what she's looking for and what she does. She wants them screaming full time frame quantities, and I find that and say, Judy, here, go get them. Because you're trained, you know how to get in. You know what to do, right? So I can remind you because of all the screens and all the things I'm watching. If there's like a group of your interest, I can be like right to you. Definitely, I can do that. I just got to. Communication is the key, right? Where one of the ways that people fail in trading is just sit there smiling and nod and suck it up without asking questions. That's why we have Thursday. I'm like, the only dumb question is the one you don't ask, right? Because I can't fix things if I don't know what's broken. Once I know what you do and what you're looking at and why, I can either call it off or direct you somewhere else. But I definitely am calling directly to certain people all day long.